You know, we're just here getting gas, and we're seeing these couple living in an RV, and it's very heartbreaking that it's come to this, you know. And all along the way, we saw lots of parking lots full of RVs. If you take a look at people here, everyone looks defeated on their last leg.
Wrapping up a day. Sid and I had some appointments to take care of, and we're just on our way back right off of I-10. It's a little bit windy, I apologize, but some of you may notice the dinosaur in the back. Whenever you come out to Palm Springs down I-10, you'll see the dinosaurs. But as we wrap up the day, I have to say this: I've never seen so many shopping carts in Southern California off the side of roads, just off city roads, off the freeway. We just passed this homeless encampment right outside here in Banning, right off the Interstate 10, and it has gotten so large. Sid and I have been there a couple times. You've seen it in some of my past videos. It's gotten twice as big, and I'll tell you, Sid was right earlier when he said I've never seen people just look so defeated.
Absolutely, you know, and we want to go back and talk about that lady we saw at the gas station. You know, she's a flat tire away from it being over, game over. She looked like she got hit by a truck, like she was on her last leg. Very sad to see, and you know, who knows where she'll end up, you know.
Yeah, you know, so many people, you know, are one little mishap away, one little accident, one little hiccup away from a life-altering experience, a change of their life. And that lady is one flat tire away, an alternator away. And when you have a country where so many millions of people are living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have to be in a dilapidated RV right now to be in trouble. There are people living in nice houses, driving nice cars. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They are one little event away from being in very, very big trouble, Sid.
Yes, indeed. And all along Southern California we traveled today, we saw, you know, the packed RV parking lots that are for sale.
Yeah, there are so many RVs for sale on these lots. We passed probably at least a half a dozen RV lots today, full to capacity. The used car lots filled to capacity. If you just watched the first half of this video, you saw the amount of cars at the auto auction in Riverside, many of those repossessions.
Absolutely, and you know, people work hard, and what happens when, you know, you lose a job or you can't afford the cost of living, this is what's happening. They're coming to your place, they're going to take your car, and you're going to be left walking.
And life is over for so many people. You lose the car, the job is next, the house is next. And I think people, you know, you said people are really beginning to look worried. Yes, they are, because they don't know how they're going to make the car payment. If the car goes, the house is next. And we're going to see enormous changes take place in the standard of living here in America, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt. And really quick, I just want to go over some real estate news, because this is going to be the next shoe to drop. We're witnessing what's happening in the used car market. It's going to be happening to housing. 30-year fixed right now. A 30-year fixed mortgage right now is about 5.96. Pending home sales have dropped 16% year over year. Listings up 18.7% compared to last year. California home sales in June plunged 21% compared to June of 2021. People would write me and tell me that, oh, everything in Vegas, Las Vegas is fine. No problems here in Vegas. Well, you got problems in Vegas now. Listings are up 14%, but sales are down 26% year over year. Phoenix, people told me everything's going to be fine in Phoenix. This is going to go on forever. Listings in Phoenix are up 13% year over year, but sales are down 22%. Fort Lauderdale, listings are down 3.5%. But get this, sales are down 24%. Orange County, California, where we were earlier today, new listings are down 22%, but sales are down 34%. And I'm just gonna go on here for a minute. San Diego, new listings, down 20%, but sales are down 33%. Riverside County, listings down 4%, sales, this is Riverside County where we're at right now, sales are down 22%. So way more buyers are dropping out than sellers. San Antonio, listings up 8%, sales down 14%. Austin, listings up 9%, sales down 18%. This is year over year. And in Dallas, listings are up 12%, sales are down 10%. So I think you kind of see what's going on. Many of these areas now in the US, listings are rising and sales are dropping. In some areas, listings are still down a little bit, but sales are falling faster than the listings. And so I really do believe we're gonna see a huge crash here in real estate. The next 6 to 18 months are gonna be really an incredible time in this market. I really believe now you must exercise patience because huge discounts are coming. But what we have just seen with the amount of repossessions and automobiles sitting at these lots, just hearing stories that the repo man, some of these articles I'm reading about repossessions in some of these states where repossessions are in double digits, and prime loans have now doubled with repossessions. Not subprime, but prime loans have now doubled the amount of repossessions. Sid, anything you want to say?
Yeah, that's why, guys, what we've been doing is protecting ourselves. Getting precious metals like this silver quarter here, you listen to that sound, it makes you feel good. You know, when you have this, it's a hedge to fight the inflation we're seeing. This inflation is eating people's pocketbooks up.
So you have a dime there?
These are quarters right here. So
well, let's just talk about a dime, a junk silver. What year is that? 1964.
364.
364 junk silver. You take a dime. Sid told me this story today. I haven't heard this analogy in a long time, but this is why we buy silver. This is why we buy gold.
So you could take a Mercury dime, Roosevelt dime, pre-1964 or 1964, and it could still buy a candy bar as it did back in the days.
So in 1950, if you had one of these dimes, you could go into the drugstore, the candy store, put a dime down, get a candy bar. And what's a dime running today?
About $1.50.
About $1.50. What a candy bar would cost you today. Think about that. That little dime has kept up with inflation. You can still buy the same candy bar today with that dime.
Exactly. And same thing goes with the quarter. A quarter back in the days can buy a cheeseburger, you know, and you know, these quarters go for about $3.50 on the spot price. They can go up to $5, so it can still buy you that same cheeseburger that you would buy back in the days.
That's incredible. So if you've been buying silver since 2000, it's up 248%. It's performed all the markets. If you've been buying gold since 2000, that also has outperformed all the markets, being up 500% right now. So anybody that tells you that these are barbarous relics that are worthless, that won't buy you anything, they have no idea what they're talking about. This is why Russia, China, India, most central banks in the world are buying gold and even silver. Silver to me is very volatile, but it is going to come along for the ride. It is gold's little brother, and I think that you should be diversified, at least have some. Me personally, myself, I'm about 80, 20, 70, 30 gold to silver. But I do realize the importance of holding some silver too, because I think it's going to have a huge surge at some point. They can manipulate the markets and control these markets, but at the end of the day, I do believe that the markets will win. We will get true valuation in asset prices at some point. This is why markets must crash, so that we get to that point, so that the spoofing and the manipulation of gold and silver comes to an end, and really the spoofing and manipulation of stocks with all the zombie companies, the stock buybacks, the low interest rates, the Fed in there buying it all. This all has to come to an end. And when it does, it's all going to crash. They will lose control. And this is why Sid is right. You must own some of this stuff.
It's absolutely a must own. Just hearing the noise, the sound, it's real money. You know, it makes sense to at least own a little bit. I mean, I'm not giving you financial advice, but I'm telling you what I'm doing, what Jeremiah's doing, what a bunch of our friends are doing, is just buying it, putting it away. Don't look at it as it's not even there. You know, just make it a point to get some. And I think it's
just
a smart move.
Plan on holding it for 10 years. That's what I do. This is something you want to be holding for 10 or 20 years, or until something breaks. We have not seen a collapse in these markets. We have not seen bad times in America yet. We have not seen a country that has been turned upside down yet. The lights are on, the power's on, people are eating, people still have all this free money, people have credit cards, people are still getting government subsidy. When this all begins to stop, this is when things get very, very chaotic. And when things get chaotic, you need to be holding real things. Like gold, like silver, like food, like water, like borrowable items, like security, like a skill set. We've had it good for a very, very long time. And I was telling Sid today that as we're watching these homeless people all over the side of the road, the shopping carts, just the defeat on people's faces, people just, you know, struggling for their next meal. Sid and I had a nice lunch today while we were out here getting some work done. We did a little bit of shopping. We just had a really, really good time, and I always have a great time hanging out with Sid. And just to have the ability to hang out with a great friend like Sid, have the ability to sit down and have lunch and break bread with Sid, to have the ability to pay for that, to sit in a nice car with air conditioning. I feel extremely blessed, ladies and gentlemen, extremely blessed to have friends like Sid. There's a lot of people out there that they're just struggling for their next meal. And we take a lot for granted, including myself. And today, as I see people, and every time we go out, and we get into some of these areas, and you just see the vacant buildings, more bank closures, the shopping carts, the trash everywhere, people on their last leg, just desperate. Makes you think, ladies and gentlemen, how close are some of your friends to this? How close are you to this? Again, most of this country, 70% of this country is paycheck to paycheck. Half this country only has $500 saved up. The other half is broke. How long can they go on? Sid.
Oh, like you said, you know, a paycheck away from being in poverty, a paycheck away from losing it all, a paycheck away from losing your car, a paycheck away from losing your house.
Yeah.
You know, that's the sign of the times.
Again, it's so enlightening when you come out 1 mile from where we're standing. There are hundreds of people living in a camp, an encampment off Interstate 10. And it's getting bigger.
And the trash is growing.
The trash is growing. And so many of these areas are looking so run down, so much trash along the freeway. And it's telling me that the system is broken financially, and that people just really in the system don't care about getting anything fixed. The infrastructure is falling apart. Where's our money going? Where's the taxpayer money going to? Trash everywhere, people everywhere. We have a humanitarian crisis 1 mile from where we're making this video. And unfortunately, the scary thing is more people are going to be in that camp tomorrow, next week, and next month. And there's going to be more camps opening up all over this area of California. And it's 105 degrees where we're standing right now. Imagine these people out there, 115, 120 degrees. I mean, today we had a little bit of a cool down, but things, I can see things are changing every day. We are heading in the wrong direction as a nation. This economy is so broken. The inflation is not going away. And people, if they don't get it now, that hard times are coming and they're not preparing, they are going to be victims, they're going to be statistics, and they're going to be members of these encampments very, very soon, living in a tent if they're lucky.
Yes, and you know, we're surprised, surprisingly, along the way, you know, we were witnessing all these humongous giant warehouses. I mean, we saw some that were a mile, 2 miles long, you know, and they're popping up all along the freeways. You know, it's amazing what we're seeing.
We were down, I think it was the Menifee area, and there is a brand new, right off of Van Buren in the 215, that area right there.
Next to the airport.
Yeah, next to the Air Museum.
Yeah.
Next to March Air Force Base. There is a warehouse being built right now, and I kid you not, it is nearly a mile. It might be a mile long. It went from one exit to the next exit. It is nearly a mile long. Who owns these giant warehouses? They're everywhere. We must have seen 20 new warehouses, either brand new or under development right now in the Menifee, Murrieta, Temecula area. And you know this is all for imported goods coming from Asia. Cheap products, cheap labor coming here. Who owns these massive warehouses? They're probably not even American owned. They're probably owned by foreign entities. And since all of our jobs have gone to all these other countries, these countries come in here, buy the real estate, buy the warehouses, and then pay you minimum wage to load up the trucks. But they'll be replacing your job shortly with robotics, and they're hoping to replace the truck drivers too. But I mean, that warehouse was probably, we saw another one that was a quarter the size at 418,000 square feet, and that was a smaller one. So this thing was probably near 2 million square feet. That's just one warehouse. It's the biggest warehouse I've ever seen in person, and they're everywhere. They're popping up everywhere. So we know that we're going to be flooded with more cheap goods, and we're going to be flooded with more service sector jobs, and people are just going to barely get by, if they get by at all. Sid.
Yes, and a lot of these jobs will be, part-time jobs.
Yep.
There'll be jobs that don't really give you benefits or stuff like that. You're just going to be in a dead-end job.
Right, you're never going to have opportunity to step up.
Exactly. So it's really no opportunity. It's an opportunity for the big guy to come up bigger, and
right.
The small guy is never going to come out of the
But they'll
hole
tell
they're
us,
in.
oh, look at all these jobs. Look at all these jobs. So you're going to have to work 3 hours for a couple gallons of gas, right? So you'll have to work a day maybe just to fill up your gas tank. In some areas, you might work 2 days to fill up your gas tank.
Definitely.
But hey, there's jobs out there, right? I'm not saying don't work. I believe everybody should be working as much as they can right now, building capital, saving cash, buying assets, buying things that you're going to need down the road. You're not going to do that sitting on the couch.
Exactly.
You may have to go take one of these side hustles, 2, 3 of these side hustles.
Side hustle, exactly.
Take advantage of it, because I'm going to tell you, at some point, people are going to be fighting for a job in this country when they begin to go hungry, because the alternative will be living on the streets, living in a tent. And as Sid said, we drove by the RV lots. Nobody's buying RVs now. They can't give these things away. The used car lots are filling up. Everything is changing, and as interest rates go up, the credit crisis we're going to see, where people cannot afford to borrow money to buy those RVs, to buy the cars, to buy the house. They're going to have, as they're having a hard time servicing their credit cards right now. This is a recipe for disaster, ladies and gentlemen. And I pray to God, every one of you is preparing. Sid, close it out.
We just pray for everybody and everyone, and just want to say that stay in close walk and stay close to God. Get your security in order, get your house in order, stack your silver, stack your gold if you got the means to get gold, put your food and water away, make sure you're preparing for the worst, and if nothing happens, fine, you're prepared, and get your supplies, get your first aid kits, do what you can now while you have the means, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Nobody knows what tomorrow brings, but just like you, I'm connecting the dots, and what I can see right now by these trends of today, tomorrow looks pretty bad. Tomorrow looks pretty chaotic. So prepare for chaos. God bless all of you. Have a good weekend. Take some time, prepare. Take some time, put some balance in your life. Spend it with friends, family, and we look forward to talking with all of you very, very soon. God bless.